Hello, and welcome back to US History and Elections. This is not a video I wanted to make, and not a video that anyone was expecting to come out, but I think it's important that I address the situation that is currently going on inside the US Capitol building. I am quite surprised at what is going on. I think everyone is. The fact that a mob has managed to break its way into the Capitol building within just under 15 minutes, they managed to get from the outskirts of the complex inside the Senate uh, is quite astounding to me. And what I was going to cover is the fact that both Democrats did win the Georgia runoff elections, and the Democrats have now completed their government trifecta, albeit by a very narrow margin. But I'm going to cover that news in a separate video because I do think this is slightly more pressing for the current time. And these are live scenes. We're watching a current news conference being held by the DC mayor. In DC, of course, there's a 6 p.m. curfew that's going to be in place for 12 hours. And it's quite an interesting situation to say the least. Of course, one person shot, you can see the title there. I saw the video of said woman getting shot, and it was not a very pleasant sight. The rhetoric that has been coming out of the president in recent days is quite astounding, and what simply started out as a protest held by President Trump in the South Lawn early on in the day turned into a mob as the protesters turned violent. You saw, uh, I'm sure we'd all seen the pictures and the videos of uh, many of these thugs entering the Capitol building. We've seen guns drawn. We've seen, like I said, one person has been shot, and there's been many more injuries. There's been minimal, minimal pushback from the police. The fact that there was such little police force active at the thing. Of course, now the DC National Guard has been deployed, and the latest news as of roughly 4 p.m. Eastern is the time I'm recording this video. We are starting to see DC National Guard just about, make their way onto the complex and start to set up a way to sort this out. But there are thousands and thousands of protesters. There's probably about, you know, maybe a few hundred inside the actual building. A large majority are still outside and, have scaled the walls and set up shop. Essentially, they're gonna, be in a standoff with much of the local police that was trying to sort out the situation. But I just want to cover this and say that this is a terrible moment for America as a whole. The international community as a whole is looking on this in horror, in shock. One of the most democratic nations in the world, and this is where they're currently standing. It is a very, very, very sad thing to see. And I just want to say how easy it was to get in. I was watching a lot of the votes because, of course, what was happening in Congress is the, largely ceremonial uh, ceremonial vote of certifying the electoral college votes. Of course, all 50 states sent in certified, authenticated electoral vote counts, certified by the governors, the state legislatures. They all voted. Everything. There was not a single faithless elector in this election, and they were just going through the, widely anticipated um, contest held by roughly 13 Republican senators and just over 100 Republican members of the House. And then the protesters turned mobsters, broke their way past the police barricade and managed to get into the Capitol building. The members of Congress, thankfully, and the aides as well, all staff members in there, managed to, get into secure locations, although quite a few of the press and some other staffs and aides, I did see, videos of them. There's been the video of, I believe it was in the House, the room where the House congregates. There was, barricades on the door and about three security members holding handguns. And of course, we've seen the videos of a lot of these mobsters have, entered, trashed the place, and it is just depressing to see. Of course, we're seeing some of the live stream from the Washington Post website. There seems to be a lot more of the police presence now, which is nice to see. Starting to get some calm and order. You've seen, a lot of members of Congress, seen Kevin McCarthy criticize this. We've seen Donald Trump make a very mixed message, which I don't want to get into, but he's essentially said that he wants them to go home, but he also sends his love to them, which is an interesting message, I do think, when there's been a very arguable, uh, almost, well, a riot is the least to call it. And that's what we've just seen happen at the Capitol building. And on a lighter note, we have had the Georgia elections, the Georgia Senate runoff elections come back. I'm going to quickly, go over the results here, but that's not the main purpose of this video. I will be making a video later today, or possibly or possibly later tomorrow. But essentially, the Democrats have won the 2 seats that they needed. Of course, it's not the 51 majority, but they have Kamala Harris, who will be the vice president elect, and she will be making the tie-breaking decisions. John Ossoff won by roughly, at the moment, it's looking like a 0.6 margin he's leading by. Raphael Warnock is currently leading by a 1.4% margin, and that's essentially all that's going on there. These leads are going to slightly increase. John Ossoff is likely to go up to just around a 1 point margin. Raphael Warnock roughly a 2 point margin once we get the final tallies in from the rest of the Democratic counties. But yeah, the most pressing news today is that there has been a complete disrespect to the democratic nature of the United States government and a lackluster security effort to stop the mob from entering. And it's a shame to see it happening. Hopefully, it can get cleared out as soon as possible. But I just want to bring you to the news that members of Congress are safe. The current news that's coming in from there, from both sides of the leadership, GOP and Democratic, are saying that they are holding tight and they wish to continue their job of certifying the electoral results. That includes the debate of the contesting that is going on and the final inevitable vote that will confirm the electoral college vote. And thank you for watching. I hope to keep you updated in the coming hours or tomorrow. So stay safe, and I hope to see you all again soon.